Hey everybody, hope you're well, and it's James here over the Part-Time Entrepreneur. And today we're going to talk about QuantStamp. Now, a lot of people in my group have been, we did a big poll and everybody was after this one, so this one is for you guys. Now, what is the problem? So, we know about two, in particular, smart contracts that were sent, and obviously the big one in June 2016 for $55 million. Which obviously all of that Ethereum went walkies. Now this is why we've seen Ethereum Classic appear as well. And again, same thing happened in July 2017 for 32.6 million. So we're talking some absolute monster numbers here. Now the big thing is this: the blockchain is very secure, but it's the smart contracts where the issues have happened. So these are quite big things, and you know that has a massive knock-on effect. It gets massive press in the papers. You know, when people don't really understand blockchain and the technologies that are happening, all they'll see is this money's getting hacked and stolen. Ethereum got hacked, and things get very muddied in the waters when it's not really the case. What is QuantStamp? Now, QuantStamp is going to be the first scalable security audit protocol that's going to seek out and find vulnerabilities within the smart contracts. And obviously that relates to Ethereum. So, real simple concept. We talked about the problems and what will that do for Ethereum and also cryptocurrency in totality. So first of all, you've got the security piece. Now, a lot of people that are, like we've talked about, looking outside in, don't really get all cryptocurrency. So first of all, they want to know that their money is secure or your Ethereum is secure when they're transferring it. And with this will happen. That will also increase confidence levels throughout the marketplace that these security measures are in place. And then they'll be able to be very, scalable. So they can be, as you know, like Coca-Cola. It's extremely scalable product, and also cost effective because it doesn't cost much to buy Coca-Cola. Very, very cheap if you consider it against, I don't know, a Lambo or a Porsche. But you get where I'm coming from. So now we'll talk about the how. So how does it work? What role does the token play? And how does this all play out? So the first thing is that you have contract creators, so people creating these smart contracts. They'll use the QuantStamp coin and they'll use it to process. Now the next stage is that obviously goes through the process, and there are validators, so they've got the nodes and they get a slice of the pie as such. You've got contributors and you've also got bug finders, and obviously bug finders is the biggest thing because obviously they're trying to weed out any of these anomalies that are in the contracts. And let's hear from our friend Hudson.
Is this going to be a stand-up fight, sir, or another bug hunt?
And then you'll have contract users who will have access to the reports, and then you've got voters, so there'll be like a governance system in place as well. So this will reduce the chances of upgrade forks and all these types of things, you know, sort of stuff we're seeing with Bitcoin at the moment. So again, some real good pieces in place. So hopefully you get an idea. So next quick one is just how does it work? So you've got someone who's creating a Ethereum contract. That will then go through their security audit engine. So this is the key piece in terms of looking for those anomalies. And then if it's all good, it will go onto the blockchain. So in this particular scenario, there was nothing wrong with the contract and it's gone through smoothly. Now, this is where QuantStamp really comes into play. Because first of all, you have the contract. It goes through QuantStamp. But then
computer says no.
So once that happens, there is another process. So what happens then? It goes back to QuantStamp. It creates a file. From that file, they create obviously the whoever created the contract. They can have a look at it. Then also there's a public file that people can view as well. And then it goes back through the same process. The chance is given to be able to fix the anomaly, and then once it goes back through QuantStamp again, then it will attach to the blockchain. That's pretty much, it's probably not, if you talk to someone technical or a software developer, they'll probably try and describe it in a slightly different way, but I was trying to put it in such a simple format that people will just get the concept. You don't need to know the ins and outs. you've got the white paper to be able to go through that, but I just wanted to give people the general concept of the flow of what happens. They've got a pretty strong team. You've got Richard May. There's not a great amount about this guy, but it looks like he's been very much in algorithmic trading. He seems to be the business front end of the company. And then you've got Stephen Stewart, who seems to be the software guy. And obviously, he's got some credibility in terms of, he had 5 years at the National Department of Defense. So, and then there's a whole bunch of the other guys, if you want to research them, all, very littered with PhDs, very intelligent team. There's no real massive superstars in the team, but they do seem to have, I would say, a fair to solid team. I think the proof is in the pudding with these guys. They're going to have to really step up and come forward and really show what they've got. But it shows real promise and potential. It's great to see as well how they've broken down the spending. So they've not just told us, you can look at the white paper, which is 51 pages long, by the way, where, 65% here and all this type of thing. But what we've got here is very clearly defined in terms of what their level of funding is and where that money's going. So it's really clear in terms of what they're capable of doing at the levels that they're raising. So they've really thought about, just in case we don't hit the big $30 million, or if they do hit it and smash it and all the rest of it. So it's great to see this level of detail. And as we can see here, it really sort of lays out what their phasing is of the whole project. And again, goes into quite a bit of detail in terms of timing, team, business, product, the white paper. So they've really thought about the whole process. Again, I mean, looking at the white paper, this one is going to be a long-term hold, but I think it's got huge potential in terms of the big things that it brings to the table in terms of, this automated audit process, and also then, being able to deliver bounties for people being able to spot these things in the contracts as well. So it's really well thought through and well put together, and I really like that. The pre-sale ends 9th of November. The main sale is 15th to the 22nd of November. Obviously, you can pay in Ethereum, and it'll be an ERC20 token. So obviously, you need your My Ether wallet. Any unsold tokens will be burned. So that's great news in terms of, that circulation. So if it's not a massive ICO, then all the tokens are burnt. That gives your token a bit more value. The team itself are going to hold the tokens for over 3 years. Now, normally when you see a lot of these ICOs, they'll hold the tokens for a year. But this sort of shows to me that they're showing real commitment and real belief in the project, that they're able and quite confident to hold those tokens for 3 years and know that the value will come through. And the other thing is, the crowd sale will be a max of 30 million, which is quite nice to see, because some people are just going for crazy amounts of money and trying to think that more is better, and it's not always the case. So there will be 1 billion tokens. However, there'll be 650 million for the crowd sale. And as we've already heard, whatever's not sold will be burnt. So depending on that, what the actual circulation will be very much down to. So in total, there'll be 1 billion tokens. Now, we've already heard previously that some will get burnt from the ICO. So there'll be 65% of these available. Obviously, 65% to the public. All the other is to go to contributors in the team, marketing, usual type of thing. There's no point doing a whole sheet on it. However, some will get burnt. So depending on how well this ICO goes will depend on how many tokens will be in circulation. There is a pre-sale, which the cap is $11 million on that, where you can get 100% bonus, and 1 Ether will get you 10,000 tokens. Now, they've got something called proof of caring, which in essence sounds really good. So you've got to care about the ICO, you've got to care about the project to be able to get this discount, which is really good. I do like the concept. I just think that there'll be quite a few people out there that will put the mask on, pretend to care, just get the tokens and then dump it later on, which we don't really want that, because we're seeing that a lot recently with ICOs. The main sale will be for 19 million. and 1 ether will get you 5,000 tokens. So in summary, I think it's a really good idea. I think it's a unique idea, and they really lack competitors. They mentioned somebody in their white paper, name eludes me right now, but the one that sticks out from some other calls that I've seen was a company called Zeppelin, where they've said they've got a closed ecosystem. Theirs is an open ecosystem, so they're very much restricted in what they can do. You know, they're going to create that confidence that, you know, you send a smart contract, it gets to where it's going to get, and if it doesn't, it will get fixed in the meantime. It's going to create that adoption because people do have that confidence, and there's obviously the token has a real life scenario use in terms of people use it to obviously generate the contracts, and then it will be used to reward wherever there's problems. So there's a real usage for the coin as well, and it also will launch based on the 5,000 tokens per ETH at about $280. I worked it out at about 6 cents. The 100% bonus. Now this is the only thing for me that I like, the caring piece. It's really good. I wish more people would sort of do that, but I think in the terms of giving the 100% bonus, there'll be a lot of people scamming that and shilling it and all the rest of it, and then what we'll see is a big dump potentially afterwards. Hopefully not. Hopefully the majority of the people that will get in will not do that, but when I'm doing a bit of a project at the moment, looking back and looking at coins that offer huge discounts at ICO stage on what happens to their price in the following weeks, months, and that's not looking good so far, the research I've done. The other thing is there is 1 billion tokens, which is a lot, but if we think about the potential that some tokens will get burnt, think about the potential of, you know, this becomes mass market product in terms of everybody will be using it in terms of when they're sending smart contracts, then this could potentially be huge. So in total, it gets 8.2 out of 10. So a really decent score. I think it's a really decent, unique product, and it really sort of solves some key issues that have evolved. I think the guys that lost the $55 million I think they've been investing big time. They might be as well. So we'll just wait and see. If you're new to cryptocurrency, then please check out my course. It goes from the absolute basics of what is Bitcoin all the way through to some more sophisticated how to trade, trading strategies, wallets, exchanges, and investment psychology. Number one thing. Very much, 90% of novices that come into the marketplace get wiped out because they don't understand investment psychology, and it will just give you a few things to just help you into the marketplace and not get caught up in all the hype. I have a free Facebook community group, and here we're just trying to build education, build a bit of a community, people that will help each other. I put a lot of my tips in there. All my new videos go in here straight away, so you get access to them. I'm doing a lot of the newer ICOs now, so trying to get ahead of the game. So all of that stuff will be in there. Please come and join us. We'd love to have you and create a community. If you like this video, then please leave a comment, and also please hit the like button as well. All right, thanks guys.